Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got something a little bit different, and that is a garage review for this new premium tank, the Czech Tier 8 Medium, the Skoda T27, or the General T27 as they've called it, because muck with names, because why not? So I've got some games to come after this, and yeah, I've pretty much enjoyed this thing. It's quite nice. It's a fat boy. It's quite big, which doesn't help its cause, but generally it's a nice fun tank to play. Now, is it better than this? I don't think so. I mean, to be fair, it's not much experience. Like I think I've played 8 or 9 games in the general, and I not had the amount of playtime that I have in the Ragnarok. But I don't think it is as good as this, and we'll go through some of those reasons. So we've got this general, and it's got 6.3 rounds a minute. So the base reload for this clip is 25 seconds, 202 pen, 242 APCR pen, 2.1 aim time, and 3.5, which is quite nice. But it still likes to miss shots. But yeah, generally it's not too bad. It's got decent traverse. 380 view range, which is good for a medium tank. It's got good horsepower as well, so it does get about quite nicely. Although it's one of those tanks, because of how big it is, it does feel a lot slower than it should be. But that's just because it's quite a big tank. So, generally with this thing, it's been quite nice. So it's got 22.5 horsepower per ton, which, like I say, so it does shift. So the mobility comparability between this and the Ragnarok is, it's pretty similar. They both move at the same rate, the same speed. I think they both go back at the same speed, and they go forward at the same speed. So, yeah, it's just that you are a fatter target than the Ragnarok, so you're a lot easier to hit. In terms of armor, yeah, they both don't have armor, so you can't really talk about that. This gun, so like I say, 25 seconds base reload, 0.35 accuracy, which is nice. 20 degrees of elevation at 8 degrees of gun depression, which is very, very nice. 3 shots in the clip and 1.8 intra clip, again, which is exactly the same as the Ragnarok. The shell velocity is 1,050 meters a second, which is better than the Ragnarok on the AP, and I think the APCR is about the same at 1220. 23% camo as well, which is not too bad, but at the same time, it's still quite fat. So, yeah, I'm not fat shaming this thing, okay? It just is that way. So, like I say, the tank itself is pretty nice. In terms of armor, like I say, the turret... Yeah, the turret's got some kind of armor. It's got the troll bounce kind of armor, from my experience. It won't protect you, like most of the time, but it can protect you, which is quite good. Unlike the Ragnarok, which most of the time will get penned. Although, if you watch my Pools Medal game, you'll see that the Ragnarok can get troll bounces because of the angling on the tank itself, but that's just T34 armor. So yeah, it's got turret armor, but it has absolutely no hull armor. The hull armor is 65. It's pretty poor. If you've got derp guns, then you're going to be delighted, because 40mm of armor on the side and the ass. Turtles, KV2s, Dreadnoughts... What else? T49s, Tusks, we'll see this, Sheridans with derp. They will pen you very easily. Even in the front. Even in the front. If they're firing premium HE, they will pen you in the front. So you are a big fat target for these tanks. For those kind of tanks, for the derp guns. Because they will pen you quite easily. So, yeah, you cannot rely on the armor. You don't really want to take a hit from big HE guns. I said the gun's pretty good. The rate of fire is good, but compared to the Ragnarok, and if you look at this gun here, 100mm, 30-second reload, and it gets a 960 clip compared to your, I think it's 740 or 760. So it's 740 the clip, and it's just not as good as this. This is punchier. For the 5 seconds difference, this is a lot better, and I think the DPM was probably better. Just going at a guess, I can't tell you that for certain, but it just feels a lot better to play, and Yeah, if you're waiting, if you want to pick a tank, and you're waiting between picking just one Czech medium tank, I would always go Ragnarok as well for the silver bonus, 75%. Because this tank has a 50% silver bonus and a 10% bonus XP, and so it's the same as most normal premium tanks. So like I said, it's a nice tank. It's an enjoyable experience. So if you're one that's a collector or, you know, doesn't mind just getting a premium tank, basically, and wants a new experience, wants a fun fun auto-loading medium tank at tier 8, this is probably the one for you. It's very nice. Like I said, the Ragnarok is better. I mean, they're two very similar tanks in the way the gun performs and stuff, and yeah. Gun calibers, that's the other one. That's the one last thing I'm going to tell you about before we move into the replays. The gun performance of this tank the gun caliber of this tank compared to the Ragnarok is not as good. 88mm gun this has got compared to the Ragnarok's 100mm. Now that may not sound like much of a difference, but the 88mm will bounce probably a lot more than the 100mm will, just because of the caliber of the gun. It will hit certain plates and definitely ricochet, whereas on the 100mm of the Ragnarok, it won't bounce on a lot of things. The STRV S1, that's a good example. The Ragnarok will pen an STRV S1 every time because you need a 90mm caliber gun to penetrate it. This won't pen it unless you get the side. If you're trying to pen an S1 in the front, like a Stark, it won't work. But like I say, on the whole, it's a nice tank. So we're going to get onto the replays, and I'll see you there. So we're on to the gameplay, and we've got a matchup that's, it's okay, tier 9 matchmaking on Westfield, and we've got the good spawn as well, Westfield North spawn. So we can push that F7 G6 place quite nicely. We can go try and get shots across the K line and spot whatever goes that way. So, like I say, get a feel for this tank's mobility, because it's got the same mobility as a Ragnarok, and you don't feel slow in a Ragnarok. But for some reason, just because of how big it is, it kind of feels a little slow, and I don't know why. It just does. Like, I feel like I should be going quicker than I am, but I'm not. I'm going at 50. Although I see we're going up the slope now. We're still going at 27, 26, which is not too bad. I mean, that's 22 horsepower per ton coming in there. It's still been able to hold its own going up. Like I said, 380 view range, which is good. We didn't spot that M41 Brazil. The light tank at J0 did. But he could be a pain in our ass because he could spot us quite easily, but this Lycan comes to play, and we track him, we pop another one in. So you see how quick the gun unloads. It's exactly the same as the Ragnarok in its unload speed. It's very nice, but if we were in a Ragnarok, we'd have killed that Lycan in that clip, but we didn't. 705 damage is what we got, because we got 240 on average instead of 320, but the reload's good, like 21.98, and this is fully pimped. This is having brothers in arms, food, vents. So this is the best reload you're going to get out of it. 21.98 seconds, and that's nice. That is very nice because it means you're not out of the game for very, very long. So like, we're already nearly reloaded, and we're going to try and see if we can possibly get shots at this M41 Brazil. Fire 1, 2, miss. Can we hit him? Number 3, miss. Just unfortunate. This got 0.35 accuracy. It's not brilliant, but it's not bad. Like, the Ragnarok's got 0.38 accuracy, like I pointed out earlier. And that, at distance, can troll the hell out of you. Now, 0.35 isn't all that. It's still not accurate, really. And it can still troll you over the distances, but it's a lot more accurate than 0.38, as we were for shot on the T49. But again, that wasn't the most aimed shot. And since we put one, we're just going to reload. We're just going to wait. We're going to wait to see what else gets spotted as people push, and we may as well just wait here because we're safe here. And there is a T95 in the base that could hurt us if we get spotted. There is that TD down there. We don't know what's... Well, we know there's a heavy above, but we don't know if there's any TDs camping the one line. So while we're reloading, we just want to wait a little bit. So now we're loaded, we're going to push forward. And there's that T95 over there. We'll never pen in that. Never. In a million years are we going to pen that. So we're just ignoring him for now. He can stay there. And we're going to see what we can affect on this upper section. So we've got this IS-3. Shoot with the drive wheel. One, doesn't track it. Second one does track and pen. Third one, I think he gets shut down there before we hit it. That's where the gun caliber comes in. Because that first shell, well, the gun caliber and the damage on the gun. If we were firing a Ragnarok gun there, we'd have probably tracked that IS-3 first time. But because we've got an 88mm, we didn't track it first time. We had to put a second shot in to get them. And we penned it lucky enough, the pen helped us. There we go, we've got an SU-130PM. We get this one fully aimed, we pop one in. Second one misses. Third one flies in blind. We'll take that. 2 out of 3. That's, I mean, as much as you love to pen all 3 shots in a clip, the autoloader way is usually, I mean, in my experience of the autoloader way anyway, is usually miss 1, pen 2. It's just the way it goes. Autoloaders don't always like to hit all of them, so we don't lead that one very well. We don't lead that one very well, apparently, and we miss that. And we're still very wary of that SU that is up there, so that's why I'm trying to keep the dead wreck of this other SU between me and him. Now it's risky because he could shoot us underneath that tank and hit us. I mean, he doesn't have the most accurate gun in the world, but he could do that. And the other thing is, we are also as big as a house. So we are bigger than the SU-130. He could shoot us around that anyway. But he is in the back of our mind that he is up on that one line. So I want to keep trying to pop shots and keep this thing, in this dead wreck in between us. So we pop 1 there into the Oni, 2, and the perfect clip, 3, straight in. And like I said, we're pulling back. We're trying to keep this dead wreck between us 2 as we're pulling down the ridge line to not get hit. So this is a good spot from the other spawn as well. Is, you know, you can get good shots across once you've won that flank. So now we're reloading again, and we want to try and affect this other flank over here. I was thinking at first I'll get rid of the Oni, but then we find out we've got shots at this 53 TP. He stops burning, we put 1 in, and he's dead. So we've got 2 left, so we can't kill this Oni, but we can put us in some hurt to make him a 1-shot. But then he gets shot, and we definitely can now. And we did load premium for this Oni in the first place, because it's not a guaranteed pen with 205. I mean, 205 pen, we could pen an Oni. Frankly, we could, but it's a risk that we don't want to take. As we bounce on him, he's got the derp gun. If he decides to turn around and face us, like I was saying earlier on with the armour, he's going to pen us, and that will hurt a lot. So now we're reloading again. But like I say, that's what's so good about this tank, and it's not what's good about the Ragnarok as well. Your time to get him back in the fight again is very, very quick. So we're loaded again already, and we're back in the fight. So we're going to see where we can put the hurts in. And obviously, Sod's Law, just as reloading we come up, he's pulled all the way back round, so we're not getting shots at him. And we're thinking, oh, okay, we can get a shot at this Hurling Hund. We pop up, oh crap, there's a TD, and he misses us, so that's the SU-130 from earlier. Sorry, SU. Sorry, mate, goodbye. And we reload again, because we could drop a shell into this T-54 that 1 shot we had left in the clip. And that's what a lot of people would do. But the thing is, he would probably pop a shot into us for 400 and we'd hit him for 240. And then we'd be on reload. So you may as well load the clip that we know could kill it, because we know we can clip him. So we want to get the clip in so that we can just finish him off rather than pop 1 in and then be stuck. So we clip him out, get him out. And there's 257s looking for shots at us. This is why we're still loading the APCR, by the way. And it is because of that 257. Because we can't pen the 257 unless it's in his ass without the APCR. Because even in this side, it's like 200 and something effective. Randomly, because that's just the way that armour is made. And so the AP won't go in. But we know we've got the health to take a hit there. So the only way it was going to happen is to take the hit, take the risk that nothing goes wrong, YOLO him, and do what autoloaders do best, clean up. And that's what we did. We dropped the clip in, got rid of the 257. There's only one tank left on their team. Just the one. And it's this T95. So, we don't want to get shut down by this guy. I thought he could have got a shot at us then. And again, like I was saying earlier, we're not really going to have a good chance of penning him. So I've tracked him there to hopefully someone would shoot him and we'd get tracking assist. And he's turned again. I'm looking for shots. We shoot the cupola and think, oh, okay, we'll go for the tracking again. But it flies in. We pen him. No idea. I don't question it, but we'll take that. So we end up with, obviously, we've got a blind shot or two on the SU earlier on, so we're at 4.9k damage, ace tanker, high caliber, 5 kills, and 2.1k base XP. Nice game in the Skoda T27. And 34 shots fired, 26 direct hits, 23 pens. It's not bad gun ratio, to be fair. We did fire a lot of shots as well that weren't all that fully aimed. 77,000 credits made as well. Yeah, there's a lot of tanks that would probably make a lot better credits. I think the credit making potential in that game was limited or stunted by the fact that we fired quite a lot of APCR. So now we're on Khan 1944 and we've got some nice matchmaking. This is what we want because for most of the tanks in this matchmaking, we don't have to fire prem. We can pen pretty much all of them with AP quite easily. And we're just going to go to the best position on this map. And incidentally, if you get the normal variant of Khan, and I want to say it's Assault, where you have the spawns down at the back end, so like where this map joins, it would be like K4 and in the town. This position on normal Khan Assault is also very, very good, because this side of the map is pretty much the same as Khan. They just reworked it. So from this F4-3 position, and if you haven't seen my King Dragon 3rd mod game, I used this position exactly the same in that map, in that video as well. You can use it to your advantage very, very well, and that's what helps me in this game, is how quick that this thing reloads, the 8 degrees of gun depression being good, and the generally good gun handling. The 2.1 aim time is excellent for this kind of gun, so we can just keep pummeling in shots. So we're up to 1200 damage already. We've missed only one shell out of the 2 clips. We're also spotting all these guys, so we're up to 1000 assisted, 1200 damage quite nicely already. And we're just waiting to keep reloading this gun and keep popping up and dropping clips where we can. So now we're reloaded, we're like, okay, what can we shoot? We can't shoot that guy, but we can shoot this poor KV3. We missed that one because we poorly aim it. He starts pulling back, and we drop the second one in, or third one even. And like I said, we're also spotting these guys, so assistance will keep flying in. So like that, we're at 1300 already, and we're only 10 seconds away from reloading again. 1600 assisted now. See what I mean? Like, this position is great. We do have a whole host of shooters down that 1-2 line. There is so many people there. And we spot this IS-2M, so we think, you know what, we're going to take a risk. And then the SU-130 pops up, which is more of a guaranteed pen. Plus, he's a bigger threat with that massive gun he's got. So we don't want him in the game. That's why I focused him rather than the IS-2. Because the IS-2 is a pretty easy pen as well. But SU-130 is easier and it will hurt us a hell of a lot more. So now I'm targeting this Tiger 2 and I'm taking a massive risk here. Bad shot, shoot the rock, pop another 2 into him, and we take a massive slap from the SU-130. Risk taken, was it worth it? Probably not, because we only did like 440 odd damage, maybe even though 480 odd damage to that Tiger 2. And we took a 520 shell for our troubles. Not worth it. So now, because of that SU, we're changing up the angle. That's why I'm coming down here. We don't want to be sat in this. We didn't want to pop up again in that same spot. The SU gets spotted again like that, and we shut him down. We're getting rid of him. We pop the rest into the IS-2M, and we're up to 3.3k damage and 2.2k spotting, which is very nice. like I say, now we've come up in that position, they might think, if we're being looked at by anyone else, they might think we're in that position. So we're just going to come back to where we went originally. And work this again. And this IS-2M is luckily enough just sitting there saying, please kill me. Please kill me. There we go. Finally killed him. The second shell unfortunately whiffed him, but the third one definitely doesn't. And we're back in this reload again. And like I say, it's not been any time at all, and we're 10 seconds out. So right now, we're smelling the blood in the air, in the water. We're smelling it everywhere. We are going for these guys now. This game is in the bag. We're up 9-0. That's how much we're crushing these guys. And there's this heavy tank at D1. And there's all the heavies on the 6 line and that TD that's running away there, which I don't know what it is. So now I know where they all are. I can push aggressively and push up. This KV2, which is quite scary, is popping up, but we popped 2 into him. I don't know how that second one was a slim shot. And we tried to go for the very slim shot on the KV2 again there on his turret, but we miss. But with .35 accuracy again, you would be fortunate enough to hit that. So we're up to 4.1k damage, 2.5k assistance, and there's only 3 guys left. We know where they all are, so we want to push up onto this ridge line to get as close as we can to drop some damage in. This KV-122 is not clippable. I don't think. No, he's not clippable unless we high roll on every shell. But now he is. Thankfully, he took a large hit, and then someone else hits him, which is kind of sad because at the same time, as well as it makes it an easy kill for us, damage down the drain that we could have quite easily swept up. Now there's this UDES 03 and this KV-85, and I'm thinking right now I want to ram with 2 left. I want to ram this UDES and then drop the other 2 into him. But this T78 sort of gets in the way, and I'm not killing him with the ram because I didn't do it, so I just dropped the final shell in. We trapped the KV-85, and that gives us assisted on the tracking. And we finished the game with 4.6k damage and 2.9k assisted. Very, very nice game for this tank. It shows what you can do on a ridge line. It shows how fast that this gun lets you get back into play. The accuracy being okay. And the good view range coming into play as well. 380 is good for a medium tank at tier 8. So we get a high caliber, ace tanker, scout medal, and a Confederate. 4 kills. 27 shots fired, 22 hits, 21 pens. Good ratio for 3.35. It's very nice. We made 177,000 credits as well, which is also very good. And we fired nothing but AP in that. So, and think about it, if you're one to not run food, that'd probably be 197,000 credits. So, on the whole, this tank is an enjoyable experience. It's a very good tank. It's probably well worth getting, but at the same time, if you only want one check crew trainer, wait for the Ragnarok. The Ragnarok is the best. So as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video.